Most winter horror stories start with someone getting lost in the snow. But this one starts with someone walking straight into a town that shouldn't exist. Tonight's story isn't about a storm. It's about a place that freezes time. If you hear the wind whisper your name, turn back. The snowstorm had already eaten the road. Evan Walker, 31, field researcher, was driving a government-issued SUV through a remote stretch of the Montana mountains. Visibility? Almost zero. GPS? Dead. Phone signal? Gone for 45 minutes. He griped the steering wheel tighter as snow slapped the windshield like white knives. A road sign flashed past, half buried under the snow. Welcome to Coldwater Ridge, population 213. But the strange part? Coldwater Ridge wasn't on any Montana map. Evan slowed the SUV. Evan, whispers, how is there a whole town out here? The storm pushed him forward. He had no choice but to enter. The moment Evan crossed the wooden welcome gate, everything changed. The wind stopped. The snow stopped falling. Even the SUV engine seemed quieter. The entire town looked perfectly normal, glowing street lamps, wooden cabins, Christmas decorations, smoke rising from chimneys. But there wasn't a single moving person. Evan parked in the center of the main street and stepped out slowly. His boots crunched on the snow. That's when he saw the first frozen person. A man leaning on a shovel, mid-motion, snow scattered in the air around him, perfectly suspended. Evan froze. The moving snowflakes weren't moving. He waved his hand through the air. The snow didn't react. It was like touching glass. Evan, what the hell? At the center of the town stood a church with a tall clock tower. Time, 11:58 p.m. 2 minutes before midnight. That same moment, Evan's breath turned into a cloud of ice. The temperature dropped so fast he felt it in his bones. Then the church bell rang once. Clang. Even though the bell itself was frozen solid. A nearby frozen woman, standing mid-step with her groceries, blinked once. Just once. Evan stumbled back. Evan, no way, you're alive. Her eyes moved. Her lips trembled. She whispered. Frozen woman, breathless, you shouldn't be here. And then she froze again completely. The clock hit 12 a.m. Hump. A wave of icy wind blasted through the streets. Every light turned blue. Every shadow stretched. The snow on the rooftops lifted into the air like it was breathing. Evan tried to run back to his SUV, but the car was now covered in a thick frost shell, like it had been sitting in snow for years. He touched the door handle, his hand stuck to it. He yanked it off, skin tearing. He screamed. The temperature was far below natural. This wasn't weather. This wasn't nature. This was the freeze. Evan stumbled into the diner at the corner of the street. Inside, people were frozen mid-laughter. A waitress mid-pour with coffee stuck mid-air like brown glass. A couple mid-bite, food hanging between fork and mouth. Evan's flashlight flickered. He heard it then. A whisper. From inside the ice on the window. Don't move. They hear the heat. Evan turned. The entire window was coated in thick frost, but shapes pulsed behind it, like hands pressing from the other side. The whisper came again, louder. Hide. Before they smell you. He rushed outside. The snow was falling now, but not downwards. It swirled, followed him, formed human-like outlines. Shadows made of snow. They moved when he moved. Stopped when he stopped. Predators made of winter. One of them stepped closer. Evan saw its face, blank, hollow, no eyes. It inhaled. And white vapor flowed from Evan's mouth straight toward it, like steam being sucked out. The creature tilted its head. It sensed warmth. It sensed life. And it wanted it. Evan, terrified, whispered, "No, no, no, no." The snow creature lunged. Evan sprinted across the street, slipping on ice, breath sharp and broken. He crashed through the door of the only building with dim light, a hunting cabin with lantern glow. Inside sat an old man, not frozen. He lifted his head slowly. "Old man. If you made it past midnight. Then son. You have until 6 a.m. to live." He pointed toward the frost-covered window where the snow creatures gathered. "Old man. Welcome to Coldwater Ridge. No one survives the freeze. Unless someone else takes their place." Evan's heart dropped. Darkness swallowed the last bit of light. Cut to black. Coldwater Ridge wasn't just frozen. It was waiting. And Evan was trapped inside it. This is the night he learns the rules of the freeze. And the price of breaking them. Inside the tiny hunting cabin, Evan sat shivering while the old man lit a lantern. He spoke in a calm, tired voice. "Rule 1, don't touch the ice. It's alive. Rule 2, no one leaves before 6 a.m. Not even God could break that. Rule 3, stay still when the snow creatures get close. They hunt heat, not sound." Evan swallowed hard. "Evan, why is this happening?" "Old man, because time hates this town, and this town deserves it." The old man explained quickly, like he'd repeated this story for years. "A century ago, miners here left a dying man buried alive in a winter shaft. Before he froze, he cursed the entire town. 'You stay with me every winter.' And from that day, every December 12th, the town freezes outside of time. From midnight to 6 a.m. Anyone inside, stays inside. Alive, but not living." Outside the cabin window, the snow moved in slow, unnatural waves, forming tall, hollow figures. Snow creatures. Silent hunters. One tapped the window with a long white finger. A thin crack spread across the glass. "Evan, whisper, can they come in?" "Old man, they don't break doors. They break people." Evan noticed a small frozen boy in the corner, face pale blue, eyes stuck mid-blink. "Evan, is he, your grandson?" "Old man, last year, I couldn't save him. The freeze chooses someone every winter." He looked straight at Evan. "This year, it chose you." Evan's stomach dropped. 1:30 a.m. The lantern suddenly died. The temperature crashed instantly. A faint crackling sound filled the cabin. Like ice crawling over wood. A snow creature slipped through the cabin wall, forming itself from drifting frost, rebuilding its shape inside the room. Evan froze. He didn't blink. Didn't breathe. The creature leaned close, inches from his face. It inhaled his warmth. And then slowly drifted away. Evan survived. Barely. When the creature vanished, the old man said quietly. "Your body heat is strong. They're drawn to you." Evan whispered, trembling. "Evan, what if I just refuse to stay? What if I run?" "Old man, then the freeze will keep you itself. And another soul will take your place next year." Evan realized the truth. Only one person gets out each winter. Only one. The old man lifted the lantern and stepped closer. "Evan. I'm done fighting this place. But you still have a life out there." He pointed at the frozen boy. "Save yourself. Or save him. But one of you must stay when the clock hits 6. Evan's breath shook. He had never been more terrified. Outside, the snow creatures formed a circle around the cabin. Waiting. The old man checked his pocket watch. 2:13 a.m. Almost 4 hours left. He whispered. "This town doesn't want your death, son. It wants your time. The lantern flickered. The cabin creaked. The snow outside rose like a breathing ocean. The freeze was closing in. Cut to black. If you think a snowstorm is scary, try surviving one that isn't part of this world. Coldwater Ridge doesn't kill you quickly. It waits. It watches. And when the clock hits 6, you're either free, or you're part of the town forever. The sky above Coldwater Ridge turned from pitch black to a faint steel blue. Evan stood outside the cabin, breath shaking like broken glass. The entire town was silent. Snow creatures formed a perfect circle around him, still, watching, waiting. The old man stepped forward, leaning on his cane. Old man, the freeze is ending. One gets out. One stays behind. Evan looked at the frozen boy, the old man's grandson, still standing where time trapped him. He couldn't breathe. He couldn't think. The church bell clock struck its final second. 5:59:50. 5:59:51. 5:59:52. Time was running out. The old man whispered. Choose, son. Evan slowly lifted his hand. And pointed at himself. The old man's eyes widened. Evan, take the boy. Let him go home, even if he doesn't remember any of this. The old man's hands shook, from shock, not cold. The moment Evan made the choice, the snow creatures leaned forward, absorbing him with a cold whisper, like they were welcoming a new member. The frozen boy blinked, fully thawing, color returning to his skin. He gasped for air. The old man grabbed him tight, tears freezing on his face. 6 a.m. A blinding flash of white tore across the sky. The snow creatures dissolved into the ground. Frozen townspeople breathed again, unaware 6 hours had vanished. The old man turned to thank Evan. But Evan was no longer human. He stood at the edge of the street. Motionless. Covered in frost. Eyes glowing faint blue. A new guardian of the freeze. The curse had its new keeper. And Coldwater Ridge would return next year. Waiting for another traveler. Camera zooms out as snow begins falling normally again. The town looks peaceful. Normal. Alive. Only one thing is wrong. Evan's frozen silhouette still stands at the town's border. Watching the road. Waiting for the next soul who wanders in. Cut to black. If you enjoyed tonight's story, make sure to like the video. Subscribe to the channel. And turn on the bell icon. So you never miss a new horror story. We post fresh, original horror every single week. So stay tuned. Stay warm. And whatever you do, don't travel alone on winter nights.